we are here to give you the market of the moment. What I like to tell people is when you're looking at the real estate market, there are things on a macro level that affect the local market, and then you want to examine
the microclimate of what's going on locally, hyper locally.
And what we did find is recently, I'm sure you're all aware of this, it was kind of big news that with Donald Trump trying to reduce our deficit and everything and the big government layoffs that they were doing, that put a huge pause. And that's a macro event, right? That put a huge pause on the market. Everything went crickets. What we saw was typically in February, we start to see pendings pick up. Well, it was pretty much level through the end of February.
Historically, March in a normal market, March is when we start to see everything pick up. But for me and for you, you called me at one point and you go, is it quiet for you? I said, it's dead quiet. And then you and I were kind of racking our brains as to what is going on. Well, on a micro level, we're surrounded by DoD employees.
And government employees. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so typically we are very isolated from events that do happen on a macro level with the economy and everything because we are surrounded by DoD.
It was a direct hit, man.
And military, right?
Yeah.
But with the DoD workers, everybody was freaking out and they decided to put a pause on buying. You had lots of applications, but we had nobody writing offers. And I felt that with the listings that we had, that went from lots of activity, lots of interest, people about to write offers, and then nothing for a week, no showings, no activity at all. And so I called my sellers and I said, we need to go temporarily off market so that we're not accumulating artificial days on market. And we took a pause and I said, Ashley, you need to monitor this.
Yeah,
she
like,
did. I'm getting a lot of applications. And I said, when you start seeing your buyers writing offers, I want you to call me immediately and we're going back on market.
Last weekend, she goes, how many people had offers out? And I told her and she goes, okay, we're going back on market.
Yep.
It was like, okay, done. But it's so crazy how I love how you said the market of the moment, because it can switch on a dime where we're having tons of activity and then something on a macro level happens and then we see it dissipate and we're like, what just happened? But it's so important right now, especially as we're heading into a season where there's so many things affecting the market. We have interest rates going down. We have all of the buyers who decided to hold off and wait because they were nervous about the government layoffs, and rightfully so. But in this moment, now we have multiple people making offers on literally almost every home.
And why? Because we have record low inventory. Because of that record low inventory and then everybody taking a pause, we have all of this pent up demand. And so if you're thinking about selling your house, right now is actually the perfect time to get your house on the market because one, you're not going to be competing with other like properties for those buyers' attention. Two, what does that mean? It means lots of competition for your property, meaning you're going to get over your list price and everything on your terms for the seller. So great time to be a seller. But also buyers, while we are seeing a lot of pent up demand and activity hugely pick up, do not wait. It is a good time still to buy. Interest rates are dropping.
They are trickling down. We're seeing mass volatility with the macro things that are happening in our government right now. Tariffs on, tariffs off, tariffs on. And then so what we're seeing is intraday pricing adjustments. But remember, it doesn't matter really what the interest rate is. What matters is that you're comfortable with the monthly payment and that you buy a house at a price that is affordable for you and fits your budget. So when we're starting to see more and more buyers hit the market, it's economics 101. If we have more buyers, housing prices go up. So sellers, let's go.
Supply and demand, low supply, high demand. And I was looking at some statistics from the National Association of Realtors, and then also on a local level, we are expecting home prices to rise 12% in 2025. 12%. 2026, we're expecting housing prices to rise 16% is what they're projecting. And so when I have people say, I'm just waiting for the housing prices to come down. What we do know is even when you look historically back to 1990 is that on average, home sale values or prices have risen 4% year over year. So the curve is going up and it will always continue to go up. We might see a little correction, but it will continue to go up. And so there's two ways to look at that. One, buy low, sell high, right? So get in now, enter while you can afford it. And two, don't miss out on that opportunity for the gain in equity in that home. And what does Warren Buffett say? It's always a good time to buy real estate.
Well, and the age-old adage that I use is the best time to buy a house was yesterday. There's a meme circulating of a baby sleeping, and it's like in 1992, I should have been buying a house, but I was taking a nap, and I was born in 91, and I'm like, yeah, I really should have bought a house in 92, but I was a baby. I've been helping 18-year-olds buy houses. Can you imagine the equity position that they'll be in when they're our age? It's unreal. It's crazy. Buy now, work with an agent and a lender who is aware aware of the market, aware of the climate. Terri, I love that you took them off the market for a second.
Yeah.
Just a hot second.
You know, and that's why I'm not transactional, and I am the local economist of choice for my clients, because I am looking at the statistics. I am talking to my lender partners and getting a pulse on what's happening on the other side that we can't see, and there's no data in the MLS to tell us what that information is.
No.
So we get really creative in definitely having our finger on the pulse of what is happening behind the scenes and what buyer sentiment is right now. And that's helping both our buyers and our sellers.
And it just goes to show how much Terri cares and works for her clients, because not every agent would do that.
And not every agent knows to do that. You know, that's the other important, kind of cautionary tale is anybody can pay to be the top of the Google search when you're looking for a realtor in Kitsap County, right? And I have looked on there and I go, that person has sold 2 houses in the last 12 months. But buyers out there, there's no way for them to check production level. So interview multiple agents and ask them how many houses they've sold in the last 12 months. Because they could have only sold in 2023 5 houses, 2024 sold 25 houses, and then this year have not had any sales.
And we just told you that the market changes from week to week. If you're not in it, how would you know? How would you know that now suddenly we need 22 ADs, additional down payments if the appraisal comes in low? How would you know that if you're not actively in the market? I'm very passionate about this, if you can't tell.
I can tell. So work with a local expert, partner up with a local lender like Ashlee, who also has such a good pulse on what the market's doing and advising her clients on how to structure a good offer, works really closely with the realtor partner, and they're looking out for your best interests. So
when it comes to looking at your financing options, red flag if your lender is not giving you multiple scenarios. Does it make sense to use my VA loan? Does it make sense to use a conventional product? What if I use down payment assistance? What are the interest rates today? Should I lock now? Should I wait to lock? Those are all things that I'm monitoring on my end while Terri is helping with the housing and getting you the showings and making sure you're in front of the right houses that fit the criteria that you're looking for. Working with a partnered team is 10 out of 10 the way to go.
So let's get you into a house in 2025.
Let's do it.